This is the supplemental video for Lab Activity 7. So I've already created my Pro Tools session. Now I'm going to create two tracks. Shift Apple N, and here we go. Now I'm going to name them both, and I'm going to name the upper one numbers and then the lower one letters. See why in a second. You see also that I have my clips window open on the right. You can engage that here with this little gadget lower right of the screen. And when I record, you're going to see that some clips will appear here, and they're going to take the name of the track from which they come. Now I'm going to adjust my levels a little bit. I'm going to bring my output level down a bit, and the reason is that I'm using the internal mic and speaker and I don't want to get any feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and record enable the track now, and I'm going to record 3 separate clips. So here I go. Start at the beginning. And let me start a little sooner in the beginning. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm coming down here and I'm going to do letters. A, B, C. So now I've got these clips, and so you got a little bit of high level there. Click that over off. Okay, so if you could look over here in the clips window, you notice that I've got exactly 6 clips listed there, and they correspond to what's on the inside of the track window there. So alternatively, I can click here and you'll see it will select in the clip window, or double click. Right? I'm going to take my record enable off there because I'm done recording. And now I can show you that I can just take and grab these guys, and I grab it right in like so. And I'm in the shuffle mode right now. So I want to show you how, if you take this clip and drag it in to an early part in the track, you'll notice that these later clips move a little later in time. And if I delete them, the others move sooner. Same thing over here, this track. See how this one moves a little later in time? There we go. That one moves later too, and if I delete it, that one moves up to take its place. I'm going to move into the slip mode now, and I can toggle through these modes with the tilde key. That's the squiggly line, top left. Or I can also, with the FN key, go through them with the F1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm in slip now, and I'm going to do the same thing, but you notice how this is going to be different this time. I'm going to drag that in there, and you see that nothing moves as a result of this. See, it's staying in the same place, and I can delete it, and you notice this later one doesn't move. So the slip does not add or subtract time. The shuffle does add or subtract time. Let's move into the next one, and that's spot. So if I grab one of these guys here and drag it into the track, it's going to ask me exactly where do you want me to put this thing. So right now it's at 17 seconds and no hundreds, and well, there, no hundreds. And there I am at that position. 17 seconds. That's the spot mode. Moving on, I've got the grid mode. And you notice I've got these vertical lines, and they indicate the grid. I'm in the minutes and seconds timeline, so each one of those is a grid value based on time. I can show or hide the grid lines by clicking on the minutes and seconds, or alternatively I can click here on the in the grid window. Now right now it's set to be 1 second. I can change this to be, let's say, 500 milliseconds, and you see that there are twice as many lines. Now what does this do? If I drag a clip, you'll see that it falls directly on one of those grid lines. So this can be done in the minutes and seconds or in bars and beats for placing things at specific musical rhythmic places. So that is it for the modes. Let's move on now to the tools. So we can access the tools either by clicking them or by using the escape key, which will cycle through them, just like the tilde key does for the modes. Or we can use the FN and F5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 function keys. So let's look over here on the first one, and that's the zoomer. So I got the zoom tool set, and I can just zoom on any area, like any area that I want to just select, and bingo, that will just open up now. And if you want to reverse that and go back to your earlier zoom option, will take you back to the earlier one. While I'm at it, I'm going to close this clips window. Moving on, F6 does the trim tool. So I can trim. It's sort of like rolling up a carpet. So let's listen to this right here, letters, and so I can, let's say, just roll that up. I'm going to put it in slip mode because in grid it's kind of weird because you've got these increments that it jumps, but in slip, you can slide it right up to where it needs to be. And I'm going to trim that. Now it doesn't go away. It's still there. I can go out, take it, and stretch it out again. Right? Now this differs a little, and I'm going to go right ahead and show this now because we are going to be covering it in a later lab. But another function of this is the time compression expansion tool, which actually makes it play faster. So here I'm going to shorten it. I'm going to make it, cut it in half as far as the time. You'll see it plays back a lot faster now. I can make it really fast here. It's a little short C. I can always go back to the original if I want. I can also make it longer. However, you'll notice that the audio quality goes down when you make it longer. Let's move on to the next one. This is the selector. So at the selector tool, you can select an area within a clip so that you can copy it and paste it somewhere else. And then we'll move to the next one, which is the grabber. That's that hand. So that's what you use to grab a clip and move it somewhere else to another place in its own track or maybe to a different track altogether. Then you've got the scrubber tool. So scrubber tool uses, it moves in slow motion and lets you manually drag if you're looking for something specific. Past that, you've got the pencil tool. Now, in the pencil tool, you have to be zoomed way out in order to draw in any audio information. So, just practice using the zoomer tool. So let's zoom right there. But that's not really enough. We got to go way out. And now I'm going to go back to the pencil and see if it's way out, zoomed way in, and the closest possible zoom that'll allow you to draw in waveform data. Useful if you want to try to draw out pops and clicks in audio. And after that, you can also use this for drawing in automation data, either into its, the own automation track, or when you're displaying here, you see it's the same, reflects the same data. You can use different lines, freehand or straight lines or shapes, depending upon, what you're trying to do there. Straight line, for instance. So that's it for these tools. Now, these are some other ways to change the way you see the data displayed in Pro Tools. Put this back to waveform. Get rid of this. Yep. There we go. So over here, just between the toolbar and the mode grid there, you've got another means to change the zoom with these left and right arrows. And you can also save a zoom setting. So if you like let's say you're here and you want to, it's a little small. So you're here and you want to save that zoom setting, you can hold the 1 or the 2, 3, 4, 5, same zooms preset, go to a different zoom, and then go back to that one, and you'll always get that same zoom preset. You can also change the up and down, or the vertical display, so you can zoom up and down. This does not change the level of the playback, only the display. Over here, this does the same thing with a MIDI track. So that is it for this additional display change. Last thing we're going to cover is the link relationship between different parts of Pro Tools. So right now we're going to look at this this button here, which is directly under the grabber, and this links the timeline and the edit selection. So when it's on, we can select an area, a region, either in the track window or the track edit area or the timeline, and they're always mapped together. But if we turn this off, we find that we can keep one region and take it, draw another one. So anytime you stay in the same area, see that stays, or if I wanted a different time, so the two are now disconnected. And then this last one, which links the edit area with the track name. So it's on now, so you notice that if I click here, the track selects, clicks here, the track selects. If it's off, I can click here and the track doesn't select, doesn't do anything. I have to put that there, back and forth. So that's it. If you want to see it again, just rewind to the beginning and watch it.